Before I come here, I was a traveller. I didn't feel at home. But when I come up here and I watch the sun rising and setting around Willett in the wintertime, where it comes up and then goes behind the other peak and then comes up again, I all of a sudden I got in touch with the movements of the stars and the moon in out of one place. My name is Vince McIntyre. I've lived here since 1979. I have spent a lot of my time in them good years where, I was depressed about stuff and thought too much about what's happened to the world and so on. And realizing that I'm helpless. If I don't have a cheap planning job, what am I going to do? I'm getting too old for it, and I don't believe in it. So I decided I'm going to try not to have to do this. And that's when I decided to farm. When I come to southern Ontario, I work for farmers. The immigrant kids, it was quite common for them to work at an early age, because that's what we did in the old country. And I got to dislike farming in the process of the things I had to do, and one of them was driving a tractor. Because my first experience when I come to Canada was I got to be the tractor driver. I don't know if that affected my attitude or not, but I got good at a tractor when I was 12 years old. And then when I went to another farm that was more industrialized, and I did a lot of tractor driving, I found it quite lonely and boring. When I come to farm myself, I like horses. I like the idea of horse farming, and it's a clean way to do it, and it also takes a lot of skill. I decided that's the way I wanted to do it, and also some of my land was not very suited to tractors, the land that I had access to, because it was side hill and sloped and all that. And in the old country, that kind of land was the most practical thing to use on those horses. And I decided that's the way I was going to do it. I found some old implements that was the main tools before they started using herbicides, and I found some wheel hoes, and I was fortunate when I come to Canada first to work with Dutch people, because when the Dutch people immigrated from Europe after the Second World War, they brought their traditions with them, and they also had the hierarchy. The land owner or farmer, he would hire workers to hoe his fields. So they're very fast, and they're very skilled with the tools, and they would come out to the field, and you dare not touch one of the tools. It was like a cabinet maker with his fancy chisels. You don't touch him. You wouldn't touch one of them guys' hoes. They had that kind of respect for the tools, and they were so skilled with them. And I worked around them people, and I said, that's the way I'm going to do it. And so to me, that was traditional. That's why I have this thing for traditional ways, not just to say, well, that's the old way, I mean, to me, that's often the good way, And sure, it's backwards, if you want to call it that, But, sometimes we have to go back and, take another trail, Maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's where the human race is at. When you look at what industrial farming has done to people, made them so dependent. Like you go to Central America or Mexico, and I was in Mexico like in the 1960s, and up in the mountains there was lots of people and lots of little plots of land and gardens, and you see people coming down with their loads of stuff for the market. And today it's all industrialized. People are gone. They're gone to Mexico City to work in plastic factories, and that's supposed to be an improvement, You get the villages from Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, and they're ghost towns, and people went off to Toronto to work in factories, And I find that the more mechanical advantages you get, the less need you have to communicate with people. It dehumanizes the whole thing, and I think that's one of the things wrong with industrial agriculture is it's a lonely life. I think that's the biggest human tragedy.